Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and tonight I'll be covering the Wrestlepalooza event and Raw, a double feature, so be sure to stay tuned for all the great coverage. I am Screen Scene Guru. So going into this was a two-match, two-night event that I'm covering. It's really interesting that they launched the new ESPN app with a lot of people subscribing, of course, to watch the full coverage of Wrestlepalooza in Indianapolis. It was an awesome match, guys. I was able to catch the highlight clips on the A&E app, and also I watched some of it on this week's Raw. So going into that, I've got the official WWE page pulled up for the complete Wrestlepalooza results. So let's go into that. Starting off, we've got Brock Lesnar defeated John Cena, which was very shocking. But I mean, given that they've gone back-to-back in the ring before, and John Cena's had a real hard time dealing with him, so that was fascinating to bring him out for his farewell tour. This is his retirement tour. He only has, I believe, 3 more matches left, and Brock Lesnar confirmed he would be putting John Cena into retirement. So very interesting news there. Legendary rival John Cena and Brock Lesnar crashed at Wrestlepalooza. Let's see, before the bell ring, WWE Hall of Famer Paul Heyman shockingly arrived to announce Brock Lesnar seemingly back as the Beast. So very interesting stuff here. We might be seeing that the wise man, Paul Heyman, the Oracle, might be recruiting Brock Lesnar to the Vision. We don't know yet. But given the fact he was there to announce him, I thought that was very interesting development. After the Clash in Paris neck damage that Roman Reigns was able to deliver to him, seems that Paul Heyman is out of the hospital. He's doing well. A little bit of Roman Reigns update. He has confirmed he is back to shooting Street Fighter. Not exactly sure how long it will be before we get him back in the WWE Universe, but we definitely need him. So going on, after some back and forth, John Cena was able to hit 3 attitude adjustments in succession to Brock kicked out. Cena attempted a 5-knuckle shuffle, but Brock bounced back before nailing a 6 F5s that absolutely decimated John Cena in the match. So those F5s are no joke. For a giant like Brock Lesnar, lifting you up 4 feet in the air and then fully dropping you is nothing. Then going on, we got Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker defeated the Usos, which is another very shocking match, with Jimmy and Jay Uso reunite to take on Braun Breaker, Big Bronson Reed, with LA Knight serving as a special guest referee. So yeah, this was very interesting. There was a certain part in the match where Jimmy was going to hit Braun Breaker with a chair, and he ended up going right in front of LA Knight, but he stopped last second. But it seemed like he was going to hit him. He was going to make contact, even though he was the referee. So there's been a lot of animosity going on back and forth between Jay Uso and LA Knight, which all built up to a head in this week's Raw. But going on, we got the Women's International Championship. Stephanie Valkyrie defeated Iko Sky to win the Women's World Title. So La Primera is our current heavyweight Women's Intercontinental Champion. So very interesting stuff there. I was really hoping for Iko to win, but I kind of figured Stephanie Valkyrie was gonna wipe the floor with her with the Devil's Kiss move in particular. Then leading up to the big finale, guys, this is what we've all been anticipating. CM Punk and his wife AJ Lee defeated Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, and I am on cloud 9 because of this, guys. They have been just terrorizing the fans and the audience for the better part of 6-8 months, almost a full year, and it's about time we got some real fighters to come in there and take care of Seth Rollins and his wife Becky Lynch. Even though I'm a fan of the man, I'm not a big fan of hers when she's paired up with her husband. I think they are lackluster crew, especially with their outfits. They're changing, revealing. So going on into the match, we got AJ Lee returns to action with her husband CM Punk against the World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins and the Women's International Champion Becky Lynch. AJ Lee, coming back after 10 years retirement. CM Punk took on the World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins. Lynch and Rollins utilized their cunning tactics to perfect double teaming Punk while the referee's back was turned. Rollins mocked Lee by skipping around the ring. And then, of course, we saw that Punk hit Rollins with a GTS, and then Lee was eventually tagged in. She manhandled the man. The WWE Universe chanted, "You still got it," to Lee. Lee locked in the Black Widow move to Lynch, which made her tap out, which was very fascinating, the Black Widow move. And then one of the other really highly anticipated fights, we got to see Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, go up against Drew McIntyre, and undisputed WWE champion was able to keep his title against the big giant Drew McIntyre, even though they've been building up for weeks on Raw, or not Raw, should I call it SmackDown. They've been building up for weeks about them going up against each other for rivals, and we saw Cody Rhodes was able to pull through. He did make an appearance on this week's Raw, so let me pull that up real quick. Okay, so going into tonight's Raw results, guys, we got Raw September 22nd. Going into this, let's see, we've got undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes and the World's Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins traded shocking remarks prior to their WWE Crown Jewel competition match on the ESPN app. So very interesting stuff here, guys. We got Cody Rhodes was confronted by Seth Rollins ahead of the WWE Crown Jewel Championship match on Saturday, October 11th. So that's going to be really interesting to see, guys. Penta and the War Raiders were able to defeat the New Days and Grayson Waller in a no disqualification 6-man tag team match. So this is really cool to see. I'm a big fan of the War Raiders. And I like Penta. Not exactly sure what the New Days and Grayson Waller are planning to do to make a comeback. I know they've been petitioning to try to get certain moves kicked out of the WWE League, such as the Mexican Destroyer and other things. So far, their petition signings have not gotten much traction. So going on from there, we got to see Stephanie Valkyrie return to Raw as the Women's World Champion. She learned she will meet the winner of the Women's title triple threat match between Tiffany Stratton, Jade Cargill, and Nia Jax. So whoever wins between those three is going to be going up against Stephanie Valkyrie in the WWE Crown Jewel competition. So that's really exciting news. She did have her father out there on Raw supporting her, so that was really cool to see her bring out her family members. We got to see Bayley return from her bit of a mental illness stunt they've been doing on the show, her turning heel, if you will. But Bayley was able to defeat Roxanne Perez, and she's set to take on Raquel Rodriguez next week. So very interesting that she... and she also brought out Lyra Valkyrie in her corner, who jumped on Raquel Rodriguez to help her, but then at the end she was really mad that she got involved in her match. So very interesting stuff there going on. Then of course the Rusev fight that was supposed to be had with Dirty Dom. He ended up trading out his slot with JD McDonough, which was very shocking to see the newest, youngest member on, I believe, the Judgment Day. He was putting in his licks, he was really getting in his shots, which I liked to see JD McDonough take on Rusev. Of course, Rusev ended up dominating the match, a prelude or a precursor, if you will, to him going up against Dirty Dom, wanting to get that Intercontinental Championship belt, because Dirty Dom has 2 belts now. He doesn't need necessarily 2 belts, so Rusev is going after one. And then we got Jey Uso up against LA Knight. This was another unexpected match I didn't foresee coming, but of course after Wrestlepalooza and the animosity between them, Jey Uso was able to defeat LA Knight after Big Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker interrupted the match. And of course, Jey left the ring after he won, knowing that Big Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker would punish LA Knight. They would just brutalize him in the ring when he was down. And his brother Jimmy, went into the ring with a steel chair to defend LA Knight. So it was very fascinating stuff there. And then moving on to the last fight, we got Rhea Ripley defeated Asuka. And of course, she couldn't really have it, so she had to come out with a sneak attack, spitting up this paint or oil. I don't know exactly sure what they had in the ring that blinded Rhea. And then Iko Sky came into the ring to try to stop them from fighting, and they turned it on Iko. So very fascinating. The Kabuki Warriors are turning heel right now, fighting their friends and family. So that was very shocking. And of course, we got to see a bit of an Instagram story from Iko Sky wiping the paint off her, or the dye, in the locker room. And of course, Rhea Ripley trying to wash her eyes out because it just got all over her. But yeah, very shocking reveals. Fascinating stuff going on. Real quick before I wrap up this video, I do want to go into a bit of stuff I'm covering. Alien Earth is about to have its final episode wrap up, so I'm probably going to do a video review quick on that. I'm also currently going through Star Trek Next Generation. There's been some movie news and development going on with Jimmy Kimmel. Apparently he signed a contract to come back to Disney Plus, but not ABC. Very interesting news there with the controversies of people protesting outside of Disney Studios, trying to get back Jimmy Kimmel's job, and of course they're upset about freedom of speech and all these things. I do think it's very fascinating, the news we're hearing and developing stories. They did release a Mandalorian and Grogu trailer today, which I thought was very fascinating. Gotta whip out my lightsaber for that. Very anticipated film. Really excited about where they're going to be going with the Star Wars universe. So what do you guys think of the Mandalorian Grogu movie? Have you guys seen it? Or the trailer, should I say, for the Mandalorian Grogu? Going on, trying to think of anything else that was going on today. Went out bowling, so that was really fun at Atomic Bowl. You guys can check out my Instagram story if you like, or my TikTok, where I also posted about it there. So be sure to check that out. But until next time, guys, have a good one. Bye-bye.